Hi, I want to start by asking you to travel back in time with me. How many of you remember your first mobile phone? Maybe it was that old, reliable Nokia. Do you remember how we used to send a text message? To type the letter C, we had to press the number 2 3 times. Click, click, click. It was rugged, it was reliable, but it was limited. Now look at the smartphone in your pocket today. An iPhone or an Android. Think about the difference in capability. The old phone could make calls, play Snake. The new phone runs your entire life. Banking, navigation, health, global communication, you name it, you can do it on with your phone, with your fingertips. Now here is a question. Did your fingers change? No. You have the same thumb, the same index finger. The hardware U is exactly the same, but the output is 100 times greater. Why? Because the operating system changed. In the old OS, the system limited you. In the new OS, the system empowers you. I share this because as organization builders, we are often frustrated with our hardware, our people. We say, why aren't they innovative? Why aren't they taking ownership? Why do we have to push them? I'm here to propose that there is nothing wrong with your people. The hardware is just fine. The problem is that we are trying to run a 2026 organization on an operating system designed in the 1920s. Before we talk about business, let's talk about feelings. I want you to recall a time when you did voluntary work. Maybe you organized a blood donation camp. Maybe you volunteered at your housing society. Or perhaps like our members in BNI Bangalore, you stepped up to help the community during the crisis, let's say the COVID crisis. Think about that moment. Did you have a boss standing over your shoulder? No. Did you have a KPI sheet or a performance bonus attached to it? No. You were likely working harder, sweating more, and putting in longer hours than you do at your actual job. And yet, you were happy. You were energized. You felt a sense of flow. Why? Because you moved from I have to do it to I want to do it. I want to do it. This is called volition. When we work because we want to, the work itself becomes the reward. The burnout disappears and the fulfillment takes its place. You feel fulfilled. Now contrast that with a typical Monday morning at the office. Why does that energy vanish? It vanishes because we take these same enthusiastic human beings and plug them into an operating system that kills volition. We need to be honest about where our current management practices come from. They emerged during the Industrial Revolution, often with roots in plantation, mines, and slavery. The assumption was people do not like to work. I think very obviously, right? Plantation, mines, the slave industry. There will be rewards and punishments to ensure people do what they have been assigned to do. Therefore, we designed the organization like a machine. Someone at the top has figured out all the aspects of the work, and people need to do exactly what we tell them to do. And now, think about how a machine works. If a gear breaks, what do? You take it out, you find a spare part, same specification, and you replace that gear. The machine starts to work again. We applied this exact logic to human beings. We treat people as parts of the machine. Just think about it. What is a job description? It is essentially a part specification sheet. What is an appraisal? It's a quality check to see if the part is performing according to the spec. But here is the fundamental flaw in the machine paradigm. Human beings do not come in standardized specifications. Have you ever seen or ever met two people who have the exact same talent, the exact same aspirations, and the exact same capabilities? No. So the paradigm breaks down. The reason people are feeling so unhappy at work is that we are forcing unique, distinct human beings to fit into rigid, standardized molds. We are forcing them to be something they are not. We need a better operating system. We need a view of the organization not as a machine, but as a living system. Like a forest. In a forest, no boss tells the bee to gather nectar. No manager tells the flower to bloom. The bee and the flower both do what is needed by their own volition, driven by their intrinsic nature. The system thrives not because of control, but because of alignment to them, their own natural instincts. So here is the shift we need to make in organization design. We need to stop assigning people to tasks. Instead, we need to start assigning tasks to people. We need to look at the individual. What are they good at? What makes them come alive? And help them build the work around themselves. You might think, Balaji, that sounds chaotic. You can't just let people do what they want. Let me tell you the story of Shweta Shetty. In 2016, Shweta came to me asking advice. She ran a tech company called Web Bazaar, and she was running the machine, running it just like a machine, right? Rigid departments, sales, development, accounts, etc., etc. And she was feeling miserable. So what was happening? If there was a customer complaint, the sales person would complain on the software developer. The software developer would complain on, say, the architect who designed the CMS. And the whole day, Shweta was busy trying to, get them to compromise or communicate with each other. She asked me, how do I fix my people? Because at the end of the day, I'm feeling exhausted. So I told her, Shweta, don't fix the people, fix the operating system. So I gave her 3 radical suggestions to shift from a machine to a living system. The first suggestion was, destroy the departments. Don't group people by function, group them by purpose. Group them by purpose. I told her to create circles, put small groups together with all the talent to do the job, to get the job done. People skilled in selling, people who have the tech skills, and maybe the support skills. All of the necessary skills that are needed to do the job which is required to be done. And then tell them, you are now a small business and these clients are yours. And all you need to do is make sure the clients are happy. Second, kill status. Remove the titles. No senior VP, no junior associate, no salesperson, or no, you're a developer, you're not a salesperson. None of that. Skill status. And don't have job descriptions. The third suggestion, open the books. Make the financials transparent. Let each team member know whether they are contributing to the bottom line of their circle and therefore to the organization. Within 3 months, Shweta came back and she shared the transformation that had happened. And she said, Balaji, now I have got so much time on hand. So, what was the transformation? These two stories really, you know, illustrate what had happened. The first was in terms of the franchise turnaround. They needed to appoint franchises in a new city. In the old job description world, only the salesperson could do this. But in the new system, the developers, people who would never leave their desks on their own, volunteered and said, you know what, I stay in that city, so let me go and talk to the potential franchise. They had a hidden talent for logic and negotiation that the old job description never allowed them to use. Web Bazaar used to provide free catered lunch to its team members. But a lot of people used to get lunch from their own homes. So team noticed food was being wasted. Now if management cancels free lunch, there is an uproar. But in this case, the team saw the P&L and they realized this is money being wasted. The team decided to stop the catered lunch. Shweta told me, if I had taken that decision, I would be the villain. But because they took it, it was ownership. And Shweta said, now I have so much time on hand, I'm thinking of starting other businesses. By 2022 or so, Shweta's company had grown to more than 200 people, and it was acquired by an MNC company. Now, Shweta is just one example. Globally, there is a massive shift happening towards these type of organizations. You may have heard the terms like holacracy, teal organizations, Semco style, or chaotic organizations. These are not just buzzwords. They are proof that the machine model is dying. Look at here, the appliance giant. They broke an 80,000 person company into thousands of micro enterprises. Look at Michelin tires. In their manufacturing plants, giving teams the autonomy to manage their own work. And in Michelin, they can palpably see the difference between the results from the factories which are using the old system versus those who have transitioned to the new way of doing things. Or think about Burzog in healthcare, where thousands of nurses, more than 20,000 nurses, manage themselves without a single manager. And closer home, under the banner of Liberated enterprise creators, we have seen this shift across a huge range of industries. It is not just for tech startups. We have seen this in accounting firms, design agencies, logistic companies with blue-collar workers, and traditional manufacturing units. In every single case, when you shift the operating system, you shift the energy. I want to leave you with a framework to think about your own organization. Think of the organization design and the choices you need to make as a spectrum. On the extreme left side, you have dictatorship, total control, do as I say. Here, agency is zero, and therefore, obviously, volition is zero. It is 100%, I have to do this work otherwise. That's the energy with which people work. On the other side, on the right side, you have the extreme self-organizing systems. Think of Wikipedia. Thousands of volunteers, no managers, total autonomy. Here, agency is 100% and the volition is 100%. It is pure, I want to contribute, I want to do this work. Now, you don't have to wake up tomorrow and become Wikipedia, but you need to ask yourself, where are we on this line from dictatorship to absolutely self-organizing teams? Where are we? Even a 10% shift towards autonomy can lead to a huge, maybe 50% shift in engagement. The world has moved from the Nokia 3310. Your employees have moved. They are seeking meaning. They want to contribute. The only thing standing in their way is the operating system we insist on keeping. At Liberated Enterprise Creators, we help organizations make this transition. But today, I leave you with a choice. You can continue to play the mechanic, constantly trying to replace broken parts and forcing square pegs into round holes, or you can become the gardener. You can build an ecosystem where people work not because they have to, but because they want to. Let's upgrade the operating system and liberate our teams.